I think that Lent is by far my favorite time of the liturgical year, because it's a time which compels us to take a closer look at our lives and our relationship with God and our relationship with others. It's a time for us to prepare to receive God's ultimate gift to us, Jesus, who willingly, out of love for his Father, out of love for us, gave his very life so that we could then share in the glory of eternal happiness. And I think another reason which helps me truly love the season of Lent is when it falls, right? Because Lent, we move from the dark and death of winter into the light and life of spring. Now, if I'm being truly honest about why I like the time of Lent here, it's also because, when we're in Lent, baseball is back. And it's less than 2 weeks till opening day, okay? So what I'd like to do is begin on focusing on, of course, the readings that we have today, and take a little excerpt from last week. If you remember last week, we talked about the temptations of Jesus. And that moves into the second week of Lent, which we speak about the Transfiguration of Jesus. And maybe I can do that with the help of a baseball story. What do you think? Let me try that. So there's a classic movie, and it's also a musical, probably more popular as a musical, which I will change the title a little bit just so that I am not going to be offensive to anyone. So I will call this musical The Darn Yankees, okay? So you know, okay? So we hear this line at the very beginning of the movie. I will sell my soul for one long ball hitter, okay? That's coming from call him the protagonist, the star of the movie. His real name is Joe Boyd. And, he says this in a fit of frustration because Joe is a middle-aged couch potato. He sits in front of his TV for 6 months during baseball season, watching baseball and his beloved Washington Senators that are repeatedly defeated by these darn Yankees, okay? Now, Joe always wanted to play ball, but things just didn't work out that way. So thus, one day in his frustration, he said, I would sell my soul to see those Senators finally succeed. Well, it just so happens, going back to the temptation aspect, the devil happens to be around. The devil is there in the person and name of Mr. Applegate. Mr. Applegate, as the devil does, listens to Joe, and then he appears quite suddenly, and he proposes a deal to Joe. He said that he would transform Joe into a young athlete, and his name then would be Joe Hardy. And then he would eventually play for the Senators. But when the season is over, Joe's soul will belong to him. So he thought about this for a moment, and Joe agrees. And then instantly, he's transformed into a young man again. Now, Joe goes, and there's the Senators are trying out. He goes, and they see him. They see that this young man, he can hit the ball. He can play baseball, and before you know it, he's starting to play for them, and he's making headlines as a star. And the Senators are moving up and up in the standings, and then the season's drawing to a close, and the Yankees and Senators are neck and neck for the pennant and a chance to get into the World Series. And, Joe, by this time, is missing his old life. Because I'm making the story very short, okay? Because Joe became a young man. What about his wife and family? It's just like he disappeared, walked out of their life. They don't know what happened to Joe because he's gone. I won't tell you what happens to him in there, but it's interesting. So he's looking for a way. How can he get out of this pact with the devil? Well, the whole season comes down to one final game. Whoever wins this game goes to the World Series. And of course, that game is between the Senators and the Yankees. And it comes down to the last inning. So it's the bottom of the ninth. The Senators played in the top of the ninth. They're up by a run. So it's the bottom of the ninth inning. And who's up to bat but Mickey Mantle for the Yankees? So we got a crack at the bat for Mickey Mantle. And Joe is playing the outfield. And the ball is going to, is it going to go out? Or is he going to catch it? Now, all of a sudden, which I won't go into how this happened, okay, Joe becomes transformed again back to the middle-aged couch potato he really is. So all of a sudden, there he is. But even with this middle-aged body, he starts chugging with such fearlessness that he goes for the ball. He actually crashes through the center field fence in the process. And if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to tell you how it is. That's as much of it as I want to use. Now what's your whistle? Okay. So Joe Hardy's transformation in the darn Yankees was totally external. He, in the end, returned to being the same person that he was. Not to say that he didn't have a different view on life, that's for sure. But our readings today speak of our need, unlike Joe Hardy, to be transformed on the inside, where we can experience a permanent conversion to the Lord. So we hear how Peter, James, and John are on the mountain with Jesus. They witness the Lord's physical transformation. They witness the Lord being transfigured. Jesus' new appearance mesmerizes the apostles. Now, the story of the Transfiguration tells us what happened to Jesus. But the more important question is, what happened to those three apostles? We know that they were amazed, but were they changed in some permanent way by this vision? Certainly their experience changed their vision of Jesus forever. He would always be seen in a different light. Not only did they see the Lord's transfigured body, but they also heard that voice from heaven say, "This is my chosen Son. Listen to him." Jesus was transfigured, but his temporary physical transformation produced a permanent change in the hearts of his apostles. Since Lent is our time to be transformed, now is a good time to ask, what transformation do I need? Some of our opinions, some of our attitudes, even though we know them to be hurtful or judgmental or biased, are difficult to change. They need the transformative power of the Lord. Most of us have some common faults or unhealthy habits that we often fall into. We need to work diligently to transform our actions and our words to be more Christ-like. Some of us still need a transformation in faith, being able to put ourselves totally in God's hands and completely trusting in God and not primarily on things of this world. Joe Hardy wanted to be transformed externally for a period of time, but we must be seeking to be permanently transformed on the inside to a new and a deeper understanding of our role in God's loving plan of salvation. And may all the opportunities that we have to encounter God through people and through events be transformative for us, so that we may live more rightly and lovingly today and be brought, as well as helping to bring others to our eternal life tomorrow.